Good morning. So we're here, it's Monday morning, it's 8 o'clock in the UK and it's 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock in Amsterdam.
Yay. And we're here. I love this start to the week. I really do. Really, really good way to start the week. Do my yoga, get myself all ready for this, and then I have a little chit chat with you. And then we're here live on the page. So yeah, if anybody doesn't know us, I'm Vanessa Wallace. My company is Crystal Clear Coaching, and you're on my page, Crystal Clear Retreats. I run retreats, workshops, and I'm a psychotherapist and emotional well-being coach. And this is
JJ. Hello, I'm JJ van Zon. I live in Amsterdam. I'm Dutch, but I do a lot of international work. Together with my husband, I've organized business retreats, the Wealthy Coach Retreat in South Africa, Tuscany. Together with Vanessa, I organized the retreats for anxiety and depression, which is amazing. I'm an author here in my country. I published a book about my journey from addiction and depression and anxiety, and all the steps that you can make. Unfortunately, not yet in English, but I will definitely let you know when that happens. And I am yoga and meditation teacher, which I truly love, especially guiding meditations. And I also am a spiritual me time coach, as I call it.
Wow, quite a list there.
Quite a list, I know. Maybe I need to cut it.
No, not at all.
And not even did I mention that I'm happily married to Carl, and we have now extended the family with Bobby.
Oh yes, of course, Bobby, little doggy. Yeah.
So that's why the bag's under my eyes.
Yeah, but he is lovely. He's gorgeous.
I know. Oh, I'm such a proud parent.
New addition to the family.
I know. So what are we going to do, Vanessa? What are we going to do today?
Okay, so as promised, we are going to talk today about panic attacks. Because, why are we talking about panic attacks? Because panic attacks are so debilitating. They're really, really nasty things. And I think, our reaction to them sometimes can make them worse. I'll say a little bit more about that in a bit. But I just really want to empathize, if you're listening to this, if you've tuned in because of the theme of panic attacks, and just acknowledge that actually it's a scary thing to have, a panic attack or an anxiety attack, but there is a way to manage them. So shall I just I'm going to launch into the stuff behind panic attacks.
Launch it, baby. Launch it.
Launch
it
okay.
Good.
Okay, so let me just explain that actually anxiety attacks or panic attacks are your body taking care of you. Now, isn't that a weird concept? But it is just your automatic response, which belongs in a place called the amygdala, which is a little part of the brain, which actually keeps us safe. So it tells us when there's danger before our brain can register that there's danger. So what happens is this is like an overprotective parent inside our brain. And it's going, right, you need to do this. You need to kind of get your energy levels up. You need to have a heart rate that's going fast. You need to be energized. Your fingers are tingling. Your brain's we're not doing any other functions apart from just all these functions we need to get away from this situation. So you start sweating, perspiring, just feeling loads of energy, loads of adrenaline running around. And the problem with this, what's the problem today, is that's our old brain, but it responds in that way to things like, I don't know, your teenage daughter telling you that she's going off out for the night and she doesn't care what you think, or your boss telling you that your performance is really low and if you don't improve, you're going to be sacked. Those kind of things coming towards you can kick off that panic attack, that amygdala going into a fight or flight response, as if you were about to be hit by a truck. So you see the truck coming and you're like, right, I need to get out of here. And the same thing can happen with those other types of anxieties and challenges, which actually don't require that huge response. Because the last thing you want to do when your boss tells you that you know, you need to improve your performance, and otherwise you're on a disciplinary, is to run out the office. That's the last thing you want to do. You want to be able to think it through. You want to be able to function. You want to be able to explain yourself. You want to be able to have a good conversation. But the chances are that might not happen. You might end up with this panic attack. So, you know, I just want to explain that to you, because the more we can understand that our body is actually just taking care of us, the more we can kind of go, oh, okay, that's what's happening. It doesn't mean, if your heart's pounding, it doesn't mean you're having a heart attack. It means you're just producing all these hormones and everything in your body. All this reaction is going on. So as soon as if you attach to that feeling and say, oh my God, I'm having a panic attack, or I'm having an anxiety attack, or oh my God, I'm going to have a heart attack. You know, I can't breathe. If we start panicking, I can't breathe, that actually makes it worse. It produces more kind of anxiety and more stress. So the real technique, and you know, JJ knows is going to kind of support us with this today, is to calm all that down. That's the key. And there's lots of different ways to do that. And I know that JJ is going to take us through one of those. So you know, it's to distract as well. And I'm the one who does the distraction techniques. We did some distraction techniques last week, but you know, that's another way that you can deal with it as well. So just focus on things in the room, or you can jump up and down, which sounds really weird, but anything to just distract your body and mind away from this panic that's going on. So distraction is really, really good. Do you want to add anything at that point? I might come in again.
I love that. I love it. Yeah, if you don't mind, I can go.
Yeah, let me just say one more thing.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Because what I've noticed with a lot of people that I've been working with recently is that there's a lot of people out there having panic attacks, and you know, if you're one of those, like I said earlier, it may be the first time that you've had it in your life, and that's pretty scary. Or maybe you've had one in the past, because generally we only have maybe 2 or 3 panic attacks in a lifetime, but when they tend to come is during times of change. So I mean, what changes? We've been through so many changes recently. Life has just been turned upside down for us. You know, you might be, you know, losing your job, worried about your mortgage, you know, worried about other things, worried about your health, all those kind of things. That low level anxiety that's been produced by that can lead to a panic attack. So if you've had one for the first time over this period, don't worry. It's actually quite a normal, in inverted commas, response. It's your mind and body trying to take care of you, going, hey, you know, this is a really stressful time. You know, we need to kind of kick in this amygdala. So, you know, don't worry. Don't think that you're going to have panic attacks for the rest of your life if you've had one recently. It's probably due to the change in circumstances and the changes that we've had at the moment, because they're pretty dramatic changes for a lot of people. So yeah, I just wanted to mention that because I think that's really important.
Yeah. So what Vanessa Vanessa, I love this, because this is we're so telling the same message, but then from a totally different angle. So what I'm going to say is probably you'll see the connections with Vanessa's story. But I'm as a yoga teacher, I use the body, and Vanessa as a cognitive behavior therapist is more using the mind. So I love that you said about what is the English word? Amygdala?
Amygdala.
Thank you.
What's the Dutch word?
I have no idea. Amygdala, probably.
Okay.
I have to go back to anatomic class. Is that the word in English? Anatomic. Yes.
Anatomy class.
Anatomy. Thank you. Oh, that's probably also as authentically. My English, baby. All right.
Yeah, but you're learning so much.
I'm getting hot flashes now. So
I'm getting as well.
Yeah. So what happens in the body is you have an autonomous nervous system. That is the entire nervous system in your body.
Mm,
The moment when your stress and fear is good. Yes, you're probably now, what the hell is he saying? But stress and fear is good when it's in the moment. So, for instance, if you see a bear and it's running around you, you have to, you get that all that stuff that Vanessa just described, and you run or you fight or whatever you do. But that's the stress, because you're in the moment. It takes you over, and you react. But then when you're safe and still alive, um, you calm down. You need to calm down to get in balance again. Now, what happens is that in this life, as Vanessa said, your teenager does something, or anything does something, we tend to get into a worry state. And for instance, I have this beautiful example, because I'm now a new daddy of my dog, and my dog came from Bulgaria, so he had a little knapsack with trauma on his back. So he's been here for a week, and we really got, I got in worried, and all of a sudden he was making a noise, and after 10 seconds the noise was gone and he was fine. But I was, oh my God, what was that? What was that noise about? Oh, maybe he's going to die. Maybe what is going to happen? And that stress, I took that stress into the future, right?
mm,
And that is the moment when the stress is an illusion. It's not um, vital anymore for you, for your existence. That is the moment when you need to calm down. And you can do that with mental exercises, what Vanessa will do as a cognitive behavior therapist. But in yoga, that is why yoga is so trendy right now, because we focus on activating that calm nervous system, which is called parasympathetic nervous system. And the active one, the male one, that energy, that is called sympathetic nervous system. So we basically need to focus on that female energy, the yin energy, the parasympathetic, that is calming us down, that is, you're allowed to surrender. And this is, for a lot of people, this is a lot of woo woo and etc., because your ego doesn't want to. Your ego wants to stay in control, so you need to be in that sympathetic nervous system, because your ego, your mind, doesn't want you to stay in the moment, because it lives in the past or in the future. So um, that is where the panic is. That is where the anxiety is. That is where the depression is. And he preys on that. But if you can become present and you connect with that female energy that we have, every man has a female energy, every woman has a female energy. If we connect with that, then you calm down. And the more you rehearse that, the more, that's the power of repetition, the more it will connect with you and resonate with you in a moment. And I see a lot of people also that do yoga when they feel only when they feel happy and good, and when they don't feel happy and good, they don't do yoga. But it's you need to do something all the time, so you can really stay in that um, zone where you are in control. Because I'm going to bring it to you really ballsy now, but you choose to be stressful. You are staying in that panic attack. That is unconsciously a choice that you are making. And maybe Vanessa can add something later on, because I know that a lot of people have traumas and anything that they experienced. But in the end, you are not that trauma. That doesn't define you. You are not the wounds, the scars. You are not the past. You are this beautiful creature. And I think that the body, which I work for, will take you out of that mind, because usually when you're overly stressed and overwhelmed, you are way too much in the mind. So that's why yoga teachers use the body and the breath to take you out of it, so you really can calm down and take a step back, so you can look at the mind and tell you, oh, that is not me, that is not me, that is me, that is not me, that is not me. Like scrolling down your phone, right? Delete. And that is how you can become calm and more authentically self.
Can I chip in?
Yes, please.
Because yeah, what you said there's you know, that I could maybe explain a little more as you're talking. I'm thinking, yeah, because there's two parts to this. There's like when you're in a panic attack and everything's kicking in automatically, and you know, I just want to clarify, because people just say sometimes, oh, just get over it, you know, you're just imagining it, and I really don't want people to think that. And what I get from what you're saying is we have control, not in the moment sometimes. Well, we do have control, because if you're in a panic attack, the way to deal with it is to accept it, to not fight it, to not try and resist it, to actually make friends with it. This is my body overprotecting me. And you're right, with trauma, I saw a really interesting lecture when I was working in the prison. Actually, there was a lady came in and she spoke about trauma, and she said what happens is when there's trauma, there's like a fixing of that reaction. So anything that's similar to that trauma will be re-triggered. It's so, say for instance, you let me think of something that can be fairly kind of low level. So say for instance, okay, you did see somebody, you know, hit by a bus. Okay, they were fine, they were okay, but it was traumatic, it was difficult for you. So, and every time you see a bus, you would get that same response, because your body is like, oh, you know, and it's an automatic response. So when you're in that, it's about recognizing, okay, this is my body doing its job, acknowledging it, accepting it, not fighting it, breathing. Breathing is great. Just breathe through it. One of the things you can do is just breathe through a panic attack. Just focus on your breath. One of the things that, you know, I've heard is breathing confidence, and breathe out that anxiety, and just continue to do that. You know, the other thing is you can do is movement or focusing on objects in the room. But you're absolutely right, Joji, when it comes to afterwards, there's so many things that we can do around a panic attack to prevent them coming in the future, and to manage our levels of anxiety, and to also retrain the brain. And that's the maintenance bit. And that's where I feel the yoga and meditation comes in. And also another thing is visualization, visualizing nice things, you know, visualizing calming things. A lot of your meditations, Jojo, you take people on a journey, you know, self-love, self-care, self-acceptance, and all those things are going to help to maintain levels of anxiety, because it's pumping the mind and the body with, like you say, more of that yin.
Yeah. And if I may pop in, because basically what you said, you know, if you're in the panic attack, of course, if you don't know the instruments to get out of it, then you're in it and you're overwhelmed by it. But what you said was amazing, because you said you in that moment, you just have to accept it, make it your friend.
Yeah.
And that basically slows you down, so you come into the present moment. And that is basically the only thing that is real, right? And yeah, so that's what I wanted to add.
Cool. So where are we? Oh, we've got Sarah here. Hi Sarah.
Oh, hey Sarah.
Good to see you here. We've got a couple of other people here. If you're in it, just kind of let us know who you are, where you are. Yeah, lovely to have you here this morning. So yeah, just say hi so that we can say hi back to you if you want.
Yeah, start a connection, the conversation with us.
Yes.
Whoop,
Yeah. If
whoop.
you've got any questions, please feel free to pop them in.
Yeah, because One question that I have for you that pops up in my mind, because um, do you have any experience with panic attacks or people with panic attacks that are in it? Because I can imagine that somebody is looking at us right now and says, yeah, that's quite easy to say, but if I'm in it, I'm really in it. So there's no reasoning with me that moment. What would you say to that person?
We might have to wait for someone. There's a little bit of a delay sometimes with the
Oh,
answers, but great question. What would I say to that person? Or
yeah,
are you
yeah,
asking
yeah,
the
you.
audience?
Yeah, because this I can imagine somebody saying, yeah, accepting it, make it my friend,
Mm.
but that is maybe a little step too far.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely, and yeah, brilliant question. Because when you're in it, obviously, the last thing you're going to have is any thought process. That's just cut off. So it's just doing the physical stuff. So if there's somebody there with you, you know, so if you're with someone who's having a panic attack, what you need to do is just comfort them. You know, stroke their arm, hold their hand, just look at them, help them to breathe, just look into their eyes, just go, let's just breathe together. It's bringing down the physical, because it's nothing you can do with your mind that will change it. So it's all the physical things. So you know, just if you can, just counting down your breaths, or just looking around the room, or doing something physical. I mean, you know, just standing up and stomping your feet,
Yeah.
just anything that's just going to detract away from that, because yeah, it's a body response. It's nothing, you can't think your way out of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's really good question.
Yeah, so I learned something here as well, because I think in a panic attack, the first thing that you want to do is distract
Mm,
distract it, and that you do with the body, stamping your feet, going on a trampoline,
yeah,
or anything like that, and after that, you go and do the acceptance, the slowing down part, and then of course comes the maintenance that
yeah,
we
yeah.
basically mentioned that throughout the last 20 minutes, which is awesome.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, another thing you can do if you're on your own, I mean, is just breathe, but also just stroke your own arms. You know, just
Yeah.
kind of give yourself
Oh, I love that.
a
I love
pedal
myself.
like that.
I
And
love
just,
myself.
yeah, but then also just breathe. Don't do it so much that you can't breathe. Make sure that you're focusing on your breathing, and it will pass. You've just got to kind of let it pass. Really, that's the key to it. Okay, so we've got a couple of people who've said hi. We've got Misha in here. Hey, Misha.
Hey, hello, Misha.
And we've got Julia. Morning, Julia. Lovely to have you here. So yeah, that's cool. Thank you so much for joining us. Okay, so what I want to talk about just before
Are we
we,
gonna do the announcement now?
yeah, is that okay?
Yes,
Or do you want to
yes.
say anything else?
Oh, announcement! Ta 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 ta
Woo, woo, woo.
ta. Here we go.
Okay, so drum roll. On
Boom.
the 5th of July, on a Sunday, so we're going to be starting at 12:30 in the afternoon UK time. It's going to be 1:30 for JJ. We are doing a session together for you. It's called Find Your Control, Calm and Acceptance. And it's all going to be about anxiety and bringing in that calm, bringing in that acceptance, and getting some control over anxiety. So it's going to be in 2 parts. In fact, it's going to be in 3 parts, because we've added a little bonus on the end. So we're going to start off with JJ doing yoga, meditation with you, calming, showing you all those techniques for anxiety. And then I'm going to do a session on all the brain chemistry. So I'm going to get my flip chart out, maybe a little kind of presentation, so you can really understand what's going on in your brain when you're having those anxiety attacks and those panic attacks. And I'm also going to do some kind of other techniques which we can use to help. So it's going to be quite interactive. So be ready to kind of get involved and really learn some stuff if you join us. And then after that, we're going to be doing an exclusive session. So JJ and I, we're going to coach you through any anxiety issues or anything that you want to talk about with us. So, you know, if it's kind of how to do yoga and meditation, or maybe you've got some blocks going on, some resistance, we're going to support you and coach you through that. So it's going to be really, really special. We're so excited about it and really, really happy that we're doing this. I've got a comment here from Misha. She's saying, learning about ourselves. If we build our awareness of ourselves prior to a panic attack and anxiety, then we can gain more control. So true. Really wise words there, Misha. So that's exactly what we're going to be doing on the 5th. We're going to be supporting you to learn more about anxiety, how it works in the body. Because if we understand what's going on, you have more control naturally.
Yeah. Creating awareness is the gold, really, right now. The gold in the world is awareness.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Are you still there?
I am here.
You're there. Okay. Well, my computer's doing something weird, but.
Oh, okay. No, I'm seeing you. I'm seeing me.
That's cool. That's
in
cool.
harmony.
I can't see it. But I know we're still here because you're telling me we are.
Cool.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. I hope that you've gained something from it.
Yeah. If you have any questions about the 5th of July, etc., can you tell you the email, how they contact us?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Thank you for that reminder. So actually what I'm going to do is underneath this video, I'm going to post the link to the page where I've put all the information about the anxiety, find your control, calm and acceptance day. It's going to be 3.5 hours. So I'm going to put that in the comments underneath, and you can go through that, and you can also book. So it's £65 for that time, which is brilliant value, you know, especially since you're going to be getting all that information, a yoga session and coaching on top. So it's £65. I'm going to put it in the comments underneath this video, and if you go to the bottom of the page, you can click the link and you can book straight away. So you're there, you're on with us, and then you'll get all the information about what's happening. It's online, which I didn't mention actually. It's online. It's on Zoom. So Zoom's
and
quite
we are very equipped with Zoom now, because we did our retreat that we normally do in our Arundel. We did that 3 days on Zoom the same way, and it was amazing. Every lady who was there had a good feedback because they were in their own environment, which was actually a very good thing to have. You're in your own environment, so you can really go and open up. I love that. And I think that what you need to realize, if you have any stress related issue, even if it's small or big, panic attack, etc., this Vanessa and I really will guide you and help you and give you the tools. And don't forget that we have 1 hour coaching where you can just ask us anything and we'll deal with it, because this is a beautiful you're going to manage your stress. You're going to really get some tools how to do that.
Yeah. So basically, if you are struggling with anxiety, panic attacks, stress, this workshop is for you. It really is for you. Okay. So yeah, I'll put everything in the comments underneath. And as I say, just pop onto that. And it's for men as well as women. So we're not exclusive just to women. So, if you're a guy, you want to come and join us. Quite often we have three or four guys in these workshops, that turn up, sometimes more. So yeah, it's absolutely, because, it's not exclusive to gender, panic and anxiety. I think for men, sometimes it's a little bit harder to admit to it. So if you're one of those guys who's like brave and can go, yeah, I want to deal with this, you want to stand up against this and actually really sort this out for yourself, then come and join us, and you'll come away with some great tools.
Awesome. Yes, and next week on Monday we're gonna be here at the same time, same place, addressing another topic, which we still have to figure out what, but it's going to be amazing, and it's going to be probably related to the 5th of July.
Yeah, absolutely. So my guess is it will be around anxiety, maybe finding your calm, your control, or acceptance, but we'll come up with something. We'll let you know anyway. I'll post it on the page what we're going to be doing, and probably pop it out in an email as well to anyone who's on my email list. And thank you so much to everybody who's following and who's been here. We've got Denise here as well this morning. Thanks, Denise, for joining. Really good to have you here.
Hi, Denise.
She really enjoyed it, and wise words. Yeah, that's nice. Thank you. Okay, so any last words from you, JJ, before we finish?
Have an amazing week and know that you are fabulous.
Yes, yeah. And the same from me, just take care of yourselves this week. Lots of self-love. Yeah, we're still in difficult times. We're still in uncertain times. I think things are starting to unfold for a lot of people. I'm hearing a lot of people are kind of getting more distressed and more upset over these last couple of weeks because things are changing again.
Yeah.
So, just take care of yourselves, and got any questions, pop them over. You can email me privately as well, vanessa@crystalclearcoaching.org, if you've got anything you want to ask. Okay, take care.
Bye. See you next week.
See you next week. Bye.